Hello Internet! It is 2016, and in keeping in tradition, today I'm going to review 2015 and talk about what's in store for the next year. This year was full of fun and exciting things, and every time I went to sit down and think about what I had done this past year, I thought of even more things that I hadn't remembered. One of my favorite things about 2015 is that I spent a lot of the time traveling and having new experiences. I started off my 2015 by hopping on a plane to Florida and taking a cruise to the Caribbean with my family. It was not only nice to get away from the cold winter for a while, but I also tried some new things and found the courage to go on some adventures by myself. In February, Andy, Rachel, Casey, and I spent a fun but cold weekend in DC, where we visited the botanical gardens and went out on the town. In March, I went fossil hunting for my first time ever at Calvert Cliffs and found several shark teeth. In April, I traveled to North Carolina to spend a weekend with Dawn to celebrate our birthdays. Then I journeyed to DC again to meet up with my friend Greg to see Harry and the Potters and Hank Green play a show, ultimately getting the chance to meet Hank afterwards.
Hey Internet!
I don't think I'm ever going to be done with using that clip. In May, I went to New York City for a day to see Finding Neverland the musical, and I got to meet several members of the cast, including Matthew Morrison and Kelsey Grammer. In June, I spent some time at the beach with my friends and family, though I wish I could have spent more time there. I spent the first weekend in July in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania with my family, and then it was time to head off on the biggest adventure of my life. For 10 days in July, Andy and I traveled to England, where we spent time in both London and Brighton, while also taking a day trip to France. We met many very interesting people and had the time of our lives. It was a very sad day when we had to get on the plane and come back to the States, but at least we had the memories to cherish. In August, I traveled to Baltimore to meet up with some of my friends from college and go to my first ever professional baseball game. At the end of September and the beginning of October, Andy, Rachel, and I went on a road trip to Columbus, Ohio to go to the Columbus Zoo and see giant statues of corn cobs. It was a totally random trip, but a lot of fun. I then spent the beginning of November in North Carolina to see Dawn again and get the chance to hang out and catch up. In December, I didn't take any trips, but I still had plenty of adventures staying in the area while Christmas approached. 2015 was also a year of big changes in my life. I decided to go back to grad school to become a teacher, I put in my notice that I would be quitting my job, and most importantly, I cut my hair again. Like, really? Why did I do that? It was so long and pretty. But actually, going back to school and quitting my job was kind of a little crazy, but I'm so glad that I decided to do it. Real talk. Sometimes you get to a place in life where you are just unhappy. I know that no job is perfect, but in my situation, I felt like I was wasting a really important time in my life on a job that made me miserable and was taking a serious toll on my mental health. Since changing things up, I found that I am so much happier and much more positive. In addition to starting grad school, I took on a couple other challenges in my life. I started learning to play ukulele after buying one while I was on the cruise at St. Thomas. I participated in Vita, where I uploaded a video to YouTube every day during April. I also made a few educational YouTube videos on a second channel. I found ways to make myself like coffee, and I joined a gym with my sister-in-law for the first time in my life. In all of the in-between time this year, I spent as much time as possible being silly with my friends and my family, and my cats, obviously. Looking back, I had so many amazing experiences this year. It really was a banner year in my life. I am so grateful that I got the opportunity to do everything that I did this year and that I had such wonderful people surrounding me that were willing to go on these adventures with me. I'm starting 2016 in a very different place than I started 2015, and I expect that it will be a drastically different year. For one thing, I only currently have one trip planned, and that's in May. Andy and Rachel and I are going to New York City. I anticipate this year will be full of challenges as I move and start a new job and continue working on my master's program. It will still be an exciting year, but for different reasons. The excitement will come from overcoming the challenges that I'm facing rather than going on trips and seeing new things. I don't typically like to make New Year's resolutions, so I'm just gonna outline my goals for this year, which is basically the same thing, just said in a different way. So, for 2016, my goals are to do more things alone. I typically shy away from doing things alone. It makes me really uncomfortable. I feel like I always need to have somebody with me, but this year, I want to try to break out of that comfort zone and actually do things by myself and get comfortable with being on my own. Learn to live on a budget and more minimally. This is partly because I want to do it, but also partly out of necessity, because cash is going to be more strapped this year than it's ever been in my entire life because of grad school. So I want to figure out how to pare down and live more wisely. Take better care of myself. I've already started this by trying to eat healthier and going to the gym, but in this new year I want to find more ways to stay healthy and active. And finally, be a better friend. I have always been a terrible long-distance friend, but this year I want to put in the effort and try to make that not happen. I have some really amazing friends, and I do not want to lose them. There you have it. That was 2015 and my goals for 2016. I have some more specific goals for YouTube, but I'll talk about those next week. How was your 2015? Do you have any goals for this new year? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to see if I keep up with any of my goals. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.